based, but for like leftism and anti-imperialism. How do I bastify this the arguments that I'm making? You sound far worse. Now you repeat yourself like 2 to 3 times first, and then you pause and stare at your second monitor. I pause and stare at your mom. She's sending me nudes.
I'm not even trying to be dramatic, but I think Hasan might genuinely be incapable of seeing a headline and going, yeah, that's actually good. Because the clips going around right now are insane. There's this whole Venezuela situation being framed as a dictator getting taken out of power, people in the streets celebrating, experts online saying, we've waited decades for this. And Hasan's response is basically, yeah, but you're not allowed to be happy. And I'm sitting here like, bro, read the room. So here's what's happening, at least in the way this is being talked about online. There are big political events involving Venezuela. People are celebrating, like, finally. Hasan reacts and goes into this warning mode. You're being used. You're pawns. Asmongold responds completely dumbfounded. Then the whole thing spirals into this bigger mess about Hasan's audience, protests, and Hasan even predicting that in 2026, if something crazy happens, people will blame him for it. Which, we'll get to that because that part's wild. Also, just so nobody can clip me, I'm talking about what's being said in these clips, not making factual claims about international events. Okay, cool. Moving on.
You know, our sycophants who are dick riders of Trump, who will unconditionally support him, like this guy, right? Who will go, yeah, it's good. Trump is not doing intervention. Yeah, based. Only to, you know, at the first sign of Trump doing intervention, turn around and go, yeah, this is also based. I love this intervention now. This certainly won't cause tremendous instability that will have reverberations felt across the entire continent, and certainly will have a negative impact on Americans as well. If you don't care about like the humanity of the Venezuelans, you should probably care about the impact that it will have in America. A lot of those Venezuelans, some of them are going to be in the chat today, are going to fucking talk like this is a fantastic moment and Trump is a great liberator. Bitch, he's saying you're a rapist, okay? I need you to understand this. If you are a fucking Venezuelan expat, if you are a Venezuelan refugee living in the United States of America, understand something. He is saying you're a rapist drug dealer that will get sent to fucking CCOT, okay? It doesn't matter whether you like Maduro or whether you hate the Chavistas or whatever the fuck, okay? He will use you like a pawn. Okay, you're like a rag.
To be fair to Hasan for like 2 seconds, his core point isn't dictators are good. It's more like, don't fall for the idea that U.S. involvement automatically equals liberation. And then he says something along the lines of, if you're a Venezuelan living in the U.S., don't think you're safe just because you like this outcome. Politicians can still use you as props, or target you, or demonize you. Which, sure, there's a version of that warning that's reasonable. But the way it comes out, and especially while people are literally celebrating, feels like he's saying, you're too stupid to understand what's happening. Let me explain your own country to you. And that's where people snapped. Because one of the most common responses is basically, why are you lecturing Venezuelans like they don't have the right to be happy? People start saying he's denying them agency, like he's not even allowing them to interpret their own reality. It becomes this, let me tell you about your own country meme moment. And in your source, people start bringing up all the alleged stuff the regime is blamed for. Torture, detention, poverty, killings. Basically like, yeah, no, it wasn't minor. This was hell for people. Of course they're cheering. Again, I'm not verifying specific numbers here. I'm telling you what the argument is and why it hits emotionally. Then it turns into the Hasan Twitter meltdown arc. He posts these dramatic doom-y lines, dying empire, chaos, destruction, that whole vibe. And his critics immediately go, oh, so you're mad simply because the people you hate politically are attached to it. And that's the big accusation. Hasan is so anti-America, anti-right that he can't even accept an outcome people are clearly relieved about. Like if the sky is blue and Trump says the sky is blue, Hasan would argue the sky is red out of principle. That's the vibe people are getting. Asmongold jumps in and basically says, please do not let your hatred for Trump trick you into defending a dictator. And the really strong part is, some Venezuelans are literally saying, I hate Trump, I don't like him. But this is the first time we've seen justice in decades. We're happy. Which is such a devastating point because it removes the easy excuse of, oh, you're just a Trump fan. No. The argument becomes, You can hate the guy and still admit one thing was good.
Now a message to my English-speaking friends, because I'm already seeing people are organizing protests, hands off Venezuela, let's defend Maduro, we love dictators. Do not for a moment let your hatred and disdain for Donald Trump, an unsavory character, have you defending the dictator of my country that was destroyed. We Venezuelans are very, very happy. It's the first time we're seeing justice in 26 years.
Let me tell you, I am Trump's #1 hater. Everyone's happy about this. So can you please just educate yourself and stop spreading this bullshit narrative that, oh my God, they must be so scared. No, we're not scared. We've been waiting for this shit for 25 years.
They have no problem sacrificing Venezuelans for their own value system.
And a lot of those Venezuelans, some of them are going to be in the chat today, are going to fucking talk like this is a fantastic moment and Trump is a great liberator. Bitch, he's saying you're a rapist. I need you to understand this if you are a fucking Venezuelan expat, if you are a Venezuelan refugee.
Oh, man.
And then we get to the clip that honestly carries the entire segment. The I saw it on Reddit protester. Someone shows up to a protest like Hands Off Venezuela and gets asked basic questions. And they basically admit they don't actually know what's going on. They just saw a Reddit post. Then the person confronting them shows videos of Venezuelans celebrating in the streets. And the protester is like, I haven't seen that. I'm protesting U.S. imperialism. I stand with the people of Venezuela. And you're like, buddy, the people you claim to stand with are cheering. So what are we doing? That moment is so powerful because it's not even left versus right. It's just, are you capable of updating your opinion when presented with new information? And apparently, the answer is no.
Oh, again, Venezuela, we are sorry. We don't want this either. Sincerely, all sane Americans. Dear brainwashed American, we Venezuelans wanted this badly. Thank you to the United States and thank you to the Trump administration. Go apologize to your psychiatrist for skipping treatment. Sincerely, all sane Venezuelans. I showed a No War with Venezuela protester how Venezuelans are celebrating in the street.
I'm organized with the Revolutionary Communists of America. We're out here to say hands off Venezuela.
What do you think about the people of Venezuela celebrating on the streets?
What?
What do you think about the people of...
What?
I saw images of Venezuelans being bombed after the U.S., bombed Caracas, so I'm not sure what you're talking about, but yeah, I think you should definitely...
show me the bombings that you're talking about? I didn't see any.
I don't know, I just saw it on Reddit. It was on the front page of...
On Reddit.
Then Hasan pivots back into his favorite arc. He complains that Asman reduces him to always taking the non-Western anti-America position. He does the whole I respect my audience's intellect thing, and the tone is basically, okay, but your positions are kind of predictable. And that's the whole beef in a nutshell. Hasan wants to be seen as the intellectual. His critics want to frame him as a propagandist with a script. Then you get the classic Hasan stream stuff. Arguing with chat, I'm not crashing out while clearly sounding stressed. Tossing insults, getting baited, pretending he only briefly brings up Asman even though it's constant. This matters because if your video stays too political too long, people click off. You need those what is this guy doing moments to keep it entertaining. So here's the actual point. This whole thing shows how people pick a narrative first, and then force reality to fit it. And when reality doesn't fit, when Venezuelans are celebrating, they don't go, oh wow, maybe I should rethink. But they do go, yeah, but us imperialism, I saw it on Reddit. I stand with the people. Even if the people they're talking about are like, please stop. You're embarrassing yourself. And Hasan, whether intentionally or not, ends up sounding like he's talking over the exact people he claims to care about. So I want to know what you think. Was Hasan making a valid cautionary point like don't let politics turn people into pawns? Or did he completely fumble this by turning a moment of relief into a lecture? And be honest, that I saw it on Reddit clip. That might be one of the most brutal real-time cell phones we've seen in a minute. So, see you in the next video.
A lot of those Venezuelans, some of them are going to be in the chat today, are going to fucking talk like this is a fantastic moment and Trump is a great liberator. Bitch, he's saying you're a rapist, okay? I need you to understand this if you are a fucking Venezuelan expat. If you are a Venezuelan refugee living in the United States of America, understand something. He is saying you're a rapist drug dealer that will get sent to fucking CCOT. Okay? It doesn't matter whether you like Maduro or whether you hate the Chavistas or whatever the okay? He will use you like a pawn. Okay, you're like a cum rag.